New study, why some people don't lose weight on ZEPBOUND and Wegovy. Weight loss, why am I not losing weight on GLP-1 medication? Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 100 pounds the last 23 months taking GLP-1 medications. I've been on Mounjaro, ZEPBOUND, and TIRZEPATIDE compound as a result of the shortages, and currently on ZEPBOUND 15 milligrams, but anxiously waiting for the CagriSema to come out with Novo Nordisk if my healthcare provider says that would be good. So let's dive into this new study. As always, I will link it down in the description link below for you. This was came across my desk, and it was written by Simon Cork, and I'll link it down in the description link below. Just click the ... more button. While you're down there, I have updated Cyber Monday deals. There's a ton of them. We'll talk about that at the end if you want to hear those Cyber Monday deals. There's some really good ones for ZEPBOUND weight loss and Wegovy weight loss. Folks, let's dive in. So clinical trials tell us when we are on ZEPBOUND, Mounjaro, Wegovy, and Ozempic for type 2 diabetes is Ozempic and Mounjaro. People lose weight anywhere between 16 to 21% of their body weight, but the drugs don't work for everyone. And so there's a thing called non-responders or hypo-responders. I've talked before about my little turtle picture. Oh, where's my turtle picture? Turtle picture behind me. People who are just slow, and that it's okay to be slow. Some people are, it has nothing to do with their choices or anything related to that. And so it goes into these trials. There's a group of participants, less than 5%, who lose less than 5% of their body weight. And weight loss of 5% or more is considered to be, quote, clinically meaningful. And these so-called non-responders make up to 10 to 15% of the participants. But here's where it gets interesting, because I know there's so many of you out there in my audience, many counts and countesses, because you guys tell me in my free encouragement group, which I'll link down in the description link below, needing the mindset component and being in a really positive space. It matters, it matters, it matters if you're a non-responder or a hypo-responder to keep going. And this is not from some woo-woo doctor. This is someone who's literally living this the last almost 2 years. Like, take my encouragement, strength, and hope. Again, never medical advice though, always just encouragement. So there's these non-responders, 10 to 15%, but the anecdotal evidence provided to obesity experts to Associated Press suggests, and this is where it's interesting, that outside the highly controlled confines of clinical trials, meaning they're in a little bubble. We're not bubble people, we're in real life. Okay, let's keep it real. As many as 20% of people do not respond well to drugs. So first off, like, taking that off the table, getting brutally honest, I always talk about the serenity prayer of things I can change, things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. If your body's not responding to these drugs, to GLP-1 medication, you may be one of those 20%. It's saying 10 to 15%, but that's in the clinical trials. And then obesity experts to the Associated Press are saying it may be as high as 20% of people. So if you're comparing yourself, which comparison is the thief of joy, to other people, or even my journey where I'm like, oh, I lost 100 pounds. I have clawed, honey, my way to lose this 100 pounds. Still have to get to a healthy BMI. I need to lose another 30 pounds. I'm currently a size 14 pants, size large top. And so 20% of people don't respond well to the drugs, meaning they've lost about 5% of their body weight. So if you roll up weighing 250 pounds and you're considered obese for your BMI, you would lose, what's 5% of that? What is that, 12.5 pounds off the top of my head without using a calculator. And if you're paying out of pocket, these things are about $1,000 a month. If your health insurance is not covering it, that is frustrating, which is why I talked about earlier about CagriSema, retatrutide, and these other higher GLP-1 medications that are coming down the pipeline that may be helpful for non-responders. But that's a topic for another day. Let's get back to this data. And why is this so important? One, we need to recognize this. I feel like there's so much, and this article is going to talk about it, but I think it's so important to talk about hype on social media. You can look and compare yourself. Please don't do that. I fall victim to that. Literally, when I was on, and I've shared this before, of when I was on Oprah, the Shame, Blame, and Weight Loss Revolution that came out. It's now on Hulu, and maybe on Disney Plus. I was in the show for my before and after pictures. My segment got cut, and then I was on the after show, actually, where I got to talk to Oprah the last 5 minutes of the after show. I don't think you can see the after show anymore, but I digress. If you're on Disney Plus or Hulu, let me know if you do see that, of where I talked to Oprah for like several minutes. On there, I've compared myself. And I walked away being so excited that I got to meet my hero. It was one of the top 5 moments of my life to talk to somebody who, like, I grew up with as a latchkey kid. That was, like, my babysitter was Oprah. So to meet her and to talk with her and to have this moment where I'm crying and she's getting tears in her eyes was very, very meaningful to me. However, the comparison part sucked. I walked away being like, "Oh, well, that chick Amy lost all this weight and she's got beautiful legs, and I had these chunky thighs with loose skin," and like these bad negative self-talks, which I don't want. We're gonna smash and break that today because, honey, we don't have room for that negativity in our lives. What we're gonna do is talk about why some of this is on a science basis and then actual action tips. So if you're on the treadmill, keep walking, keep going. First, it's important to recognize, per this article, again, and this was, I'll link it down below. It's theconversation.com, and then it was reposted on MSNBC and a bunch of other places because the writer Simon Cork nails the head on the head, nails the hammer on the head. You know what I'm trying to say. They hit it. They hit the mark. And this was published November 28th, 2024. You guys know I'm anal about my sources and citing them, so you guys can check me to make sure we are being scientifically accurate and not woo-woo, that this is data-based and science-based. It's really important to make sure we're checking sources for creators, but I digress. First, the most important to recognize, obesity is multifaceted. Our body's understanding of the genetic basis for obesity has grown significantly over the past decade. Because obesity is a disease. Literally, when I went to the Oprah show, I will be brutally, I did not think it was like, when people, I would be like, oh, that's a cop out. No, I was uneducated. Not that it's a cop out, it's I was uneducated. And I, being morbidly obese, still felt it was a moral failing until I went to that show to learn about the science behind obesity. For example, a 2021 study found that 0.3% of the UK population, equivalent to over 200,000 people, carry a genetic mutation in part of their brain circulatory that regulates appetite. It's in our brain, babes and dudes, leading to an average of 17 kilograms of additional weight. I don't know how much a kilogram is to a pound or ounces, but that's incredible. 200,000 people are having this genetic mutation of literally your brain circuitry. The genetic variable and underlying causes of obesity may be one explanation for why people are having blunted responses to the GLP-1 medications. So if you're on Wegovy, maybe talking to your healthcare provider, because TIRZEPATIDE, which is Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND, 2 different FDA approvals, is slightly higher in the data than a semaglutide, which is Wegovy, Ozempic. So if you're not responding well to that, it may be something to talk about to step up with that. It's also important to recognize how new anti-obesity drugs work. Anyone who's tried to lose weight through diet and exercise is met with increased feelings of hunger and tiredness. That's the normal body's response of when you're trying to lose weight. Hello. We could all write a book on that, couldn't we, honey? Eat less, move more. Like, we could all write a book on that 1990s philosophy. But being in a calorie deficit matters. Let's keep going. The clinical trials, participants are provided with exercise support and access to dietitians and psychologists. So they have their Avengers team, which I always say we need to have on ZEPBOUND and Mounjaro and Wegovy, any GLP-1 weight loss. We own individually all need to have our own Avengers team. In my humble opinion, my experience, strength, and hope. The experts in this trial provided individual support and lifestyle changes necessary. The support is seldom available for people outside of the clinical trials, which is why I talk about it so much, because I don't feel like we do have those access to exercise support, so like a trainer, dietitians helping with the food, which is why I love Join Fridays today at 8:30 p.m., which is Monday when I'm filming this. There's a call, and Tuesday, group coaching dietitian calls included in the Join Fridays. If you're looking for a telehealth care provider for chronic obesity management, they have both compounds and they have brand name drugs. So I'll link that down below. Use the discount code QUEEN. But so, because Join Fridays get it. That's why they're like the leading on obesity for telehealth medicine. They get, we need these pockets to be filled in. So the support, what they're saying in here, several studies have sought to identify the factors that may predict weight loss responses for weight loss jabs. One common factor in meaningful weight loss is a higher starting body weight, which, yes. Thank you. Yes, we did know that. But since their introduction, and this is the next part of this, is the hype around it, which I was talking about earlier, of where it gets hyped up. It gets hyped because it gets views and clicks and things like that. And so then we think that it's somewhat normal with these of like, what's wrong with me? Like literally, I've had that thought. I've literally had that thought of as I've gone through, that's not the picture I wanted to show, as I've gone through this weight loss journey of what is flipping wrong with me? Well, when I look at it from a science standpoint, nothing's wrong with me. My body's just not responding to this. And that for me, I know that I know that I know from my bows to my toes, I just need, I have lost 100 pounds and it's made me make lifestyle changes with my food and exercise. However, to get to the where I'm supposed to get, I feel like it's really hard. It's been very, very hard. And maybe that's my own thing that I need to talk to my therapist about. As I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, oh, this is not something tremendously healthy. But me comparing to other people, why is this so hard for me? Well, maybe that's just part of it. But I do know that if I could go to like a ZEPBOUND 17.5 milligrams, which there's no such thing, a ZEPBOUND 20 milligrams, ZEPBOUND 15 milligrams is the highest out of all the land of GLP-1 medications, higher than Wegovy, higher than Ozempic. It's the same thing as Mounjaro. So Mounjaro 15 milligrams, ZEPBOUND 15 milligrams, it is the highest. And so patiently waiting for the FDA approval on those, it's talking about let's go back over to this, as the hype of these. One of the consequences is that lower body weights than guidelines stipulate are being prescribed for people with weight loss drugs. They talk about that in the story too, about people who don't need to lose that much weight coming onto GLP-1 medications. But we are seeing, and I don't like when people say that now. I used to be like, yeah, those Hollywood people. Now I'm like, actually, we're having studies now that we need to crush that mentality, because GLP-1 medications are showing that it helps with sleep apnea. In fact, it's going to get FDA approval probably for sleep apnea. Not probably, it is. Sleep apnea, we're having the pipeline for heart, reducing strokes, heart attacks, and heart events. That didn't sound right. You know what I mean? Like heart attack, strokes along that vein by 20%. That potential FDA approval on there, like these things are all in the pipeline that are not just for chronic obesity management and my type 2 diabetes buddies. So say people who are coming on for those things may not have as much weight as somebody who has chronic obesity management who needs to lose 100 pounds, 150 pounds, things like that. In the UK, the National Institutes for Healthcare, which is called NICE is the acronym, isn't that sweet, set guidelines on clinical parameters are needed for the drug to be prescribed. For Wegovy and Mounjaro, a person must be obese and at least have one obesity-related health problem, such as sleep apnea or high blood pressure. So the lack of alternative of weight loss drugs is another one that they're going into too, talking about that. But also, and this doesn't say in the article, I do think the stress of the drug shortages, being able to have access to getting our medications to take them in a timely manner, for sure is affecting people's ability to lose weight. My own included, of like, if I'm a week behind with my medication, right? Like that's gonna affect the outcome. And so that's not part of the 20% non-responders. That part of what they're saying is people who are taking the drug, but adding that extra thread onto this fabric of not having access to our medication, like this is, it can lead to, you know, a slower weight loss in there is the point that I'm trying to make. So I think it's so important to talk about this, to talk about the non-responders, because it can be as many as 20%. And we know the studies are showing this, that most people don't stay on these medications making it to a year. It's a tremendous drop off and fall off of people not taking GLP-1 medications. For me, and I get asked over like every day, multiple times, will you continue? Yes, I probably will be on these medications for the rest of my life. If you told somebody who had chronic heart attacks for them taking, say, a blood pressure pill, because they have a genetic thing for heart attacks, oh, well, when are you going to stop that heart attack medication? You're not going to. You're probably going to take it the rest of your life, right? And so that for me is how I look at chronic obesity management. This whole ball of wax is, I'll probably be on this the rest of my life because I have chronic obesity. Therefore, I need the management of it. For me, I 100% would be one of those people who, when I get off the medication, I would gain it all back. I would go back to that horrible, debilitating, depressing. I would not wish my morbid obesity on my worst enemy, truly. It was HE double hockey sticks. It's not fun. And so I think it's important to note, here's the problem. 20% of people, up to 20%, they're saying 10 to 15 in the clinical trials, but up to 20% of people not in clinical trials who don't necessarily have access to a dietitian, a trainer, and all like a continuous ongoing healthcare coverage and things like that. so up to 20% of people are not responding to these medications. It may mean they're kind of like me, of where I need a higher dose. I've known I've needed a higher dose for a long time. A long time meaning at least 9 months. If I'm horrible with dates, but if I'm remembering that correctly, you can see I have a video documentation all along of my daily show on here. So make sure you click that like and subscribe so you can see the daily show every day. But I think it's really important to talk about these non-responders and that relief is coming, because we do need hope with that. That I know that as soon as there's a higher stair-stepping of CagriSema from Novo Nordisk, or retatrutide from Eli Lilly, these higher up GLP-1 medications that go beyond Mounjaro 15 milligrams and ZEPBOUND 15 milligrams, that for me, that would make a lot of sense. But the counter to that, and some of y'all have said too, of like, well, you're right in where you're supposed to be. It doesn't feel like it. But it feels like I am fighting so hardcore. But maybe also that is part of, this is the other counter to it, is maybe I've had to go along to learn these life lessons and to make permanent lifestyle changes, which I feel like I have learned the lesson. Lord, I've learned the lesson. You can stop testing me. With my exercise and with food. Just rolled off of Thanksgiving weekend. I ate a ton of food and I had so much fun doing it. We went to a chip factory, y'all. A chip factory. My favorite food is chips. I was literally like a kid in the candy store, but a grown woman in a chip factory. It was so fun. I ate the chips, but here's what, because of GLP-1 medication, I can eat the chips, be so happy, finger licking good, and then stop and be like, I'm good. Now, don't think that I didn't last night have some more chips, and we bought some, of course, to take back from the chip factory. And we always give every year to our family members. They have a chip. If you're in Virginia, this chip factory is amazing. It's Route 11 chips. If you live on the East Coast, it's well worth, off of Route 81 going. We were going to the JMU football game. And so I ate a ton of food there, but y'all, I didn't gain that much weight. I gained some weight. I thought it was a pound, and then I went to the chip factory. Now it's a couple of pounds, but that's okay. You know why? I know it's gonna drop in a couple of days. It's water weight, I'm sure. My sleep's been really off because my kid's been home. He's back at school. Hallelujah. Love him so much, but so grateful to get back in a routine. So these things, if you're under a high stress situation, routine changes can affect the weight loss journey too, right? When going through earlier this year, we had a family member going through intensive cancer treatments. It was awful, not fun. It was hard for me to lose weight. Travel a ton, hard for me to lose weight. So analyzing and looking at those things of like, okay, am I a non-responder, or is it my own environmental factors that are contributing to this? Stress, not sleeping, not having access to healthy food choices because I'm traveling on the road, a bunch of different things, which by the way, I was going to announce today our Vegas meetup, which is in 2 weeks. I need to make a website landing page for it to have everyone on my email list. I did not do that. If for some reason I did do it, it'll be in the description link below, but I don't think so by the time this video gets released. I will be announcing it in my email list. So if you're on my email list, how you go to my email list, you click on the free meal plan down below. It's dietitian created, and a pop-up will happen. If for some reason you were a dum-dum and you unsubscribe, well, that's on you. That's the only way I can really do this in managing everybody. So hopefully you're on my email, or just use a different email. If you're not, if you use a different email. So I'm going to be doing it through email of our meetup, which will be on Sunday. It's in Vegas at the Wynn Encore. There's a coffee shop we're going to meet at. Sunday, December 15th at 6 p.m. Vegas time. I will be flying in that day, which is why I want everyone's email, because if for some reason my plane gets delayed, I want to email you guys when I'm up in the air like, hey, I'll be running 20 minutes late or whatever. I don't think so though. So we will be having that Vegas, and I know a ton of you guys are coming, which I'm really excited about. I cannot wait to meet you all, hug all of your necks, and I would like to videotape it for YouTube too. If you don't want to be in the YouTube video, fine. So going back to the non-responders, I think that this is important to mention, and that solutions are coming with it, of like, we've got this information, but more information is needed on the solutions, which in my humble opinion, as non-responders, that's why there are these higher tiers that are coming out partially. Talk to your healthcare provider too. You guys, this is not medical advice ever from me. I'm not medical. I'm some chickadee on the internet. Simply my experience, strength, and hope. But your healthcare provider may have helpful benefits and tools for you too that you may not have thought of. I'll link that article down below. Today is Cyber Monday. Tomorrow will be Giving Tuesday. I've been selected to be the Giving Tuesday ambassador, and we'll be having a huge Giving Tuesday tomorrow, Tuesday, which is December 3rd. thing if you want to give for Giving Tuesday as an ambassador. I would love your support, but also no pressure. And for Cyber Monday, massive sale going on right now. I will link it down below with my Cyber Monday deals on Sol de Janeiro. I am obsessed. Crepe Erase is still on sale. This is the 10 out of 10 loose skin cream. That is still on sale for Cyber Monday, as is Sol de Janeiro. Oh, it just flew across the studio. It entered the chat for loose skin. Sol de Janeiro has not been on sale, because you guys know I track this, since last October Prime Day, Fall Prime Day, so it's been over a year. It's been 13 months. So the fact that I kept waiting for it for the July Prime Day and the Fall Prime Day, and it didn't go on sale this year. So the fact that it's on Cyber Monday, I've stocked up already. Deodorants are on sale. There's scrub. I use this for loose skin. It makes a big difference in the exfoliation of my skin. The way that they're, I don't know if it's poppies or what the grit in it is. I highly recommend. Great holiday gifts. I got some for my niece. But the Sol de Janeiro loose skin cream too, the one I like is the pink one. It's Baja de Fleur. I'd say that's a 9 out of 10, but Crepe Erase is a 10 out of 10. So just keeping that in mind. Crepe Erase's neck cream is also on sale, as is, I believe Go Pure is too. The Laneige lips, a ton of stuff. So click on the Cyber Monday sale down below too. Those will get updated, and as the deals fall off, they'll get taken off the list. So if you're watching this like 3 months from Cyber Monday, there'll be updated deals on that Amazon shopping list too. So, and my bundle set with Bioptimizers is still on sale for like a day or two. It's going to end soon. The bundle set of the collagen, which is mushroom breakthrough. It doesn't taste like mushrooms. It tastes amazing. Protein breakthrough, their protein chocolate powder, and the magnesium, the best-selling magnesium. It has 7 types of magnesium. The 3-pack of those is still 25% off. So use the discount code QUEEN. I'll link the link down below. They've been so generous with our community. Thanks, Bioptimizers. This video is not sponsored by anybody, but they're awesome. And this is what I use to sleep. It helps with constipation, ZEPBOUND constipation, anxiety, muscle recovery, a ton of different things. So many scientific studies talk about magnesium. It made a big difference for me. So, and it's in a pill format. They do have powder format if you don't like pills, but I love me a pill. I'm like, ooh, after I put my mouth guard in and brush my teeth, I'm like, kick it back in like 20 minutes. It helps me gently fall asleep, but literally I get leg cramps if I don't take that. It's a noticeable difference for me. There's something else I was going to say. I think that does it. We'll continue this conversation in the free encouragement group. Oh, that's what it was. Accountability question. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? I've got mine. I'm going to be hardcore working on. I'll talk about it in the free encouragement group for today. And then your emoji of the day is going to be a bird, because we're going to fly like eagles. That will be the Countess. Can it be something pretty like a swan or like a, I don't know, like a hummingbird? I don't know. Instead, I'm like, I'm going to work on my I was going to say cat calls, my bird calls. Okay, and the emoji of the day helps me to get to know you better because I care. It tells me you made it this far in the video, and if you made it this far in the video, I want to know you. I truly do care about you. I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought, as all are welcome here at the Countess of Shopping Table. Unless you're mean, and then if you're mean, then you probably haven't made it this far in the video. I'm trying to work on how the young kids do. You guys need to teach me. How do they do that? They did it in Wicked. This. I'm working on it. My heart with the young people's version. See, I'm a millennial-ish. Millennial in the older group. How do they do that? I'm trying to give you guys a heart. Okay, I love you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love you.